Why don't you say welcome back to the movie stash instead of me saying it?
Okay.
And do the whole, today we're talking about The Flash, that whole thing.
Sure.
But first, I'll say the movie stash now has its own Instagram page. So go ahead right now and follow it. It's _movie stash.
Hey, just to let you guys know, the Movie Stash has its own Instagram page. You can go onto _movie stash on Instagram and see our ugly faces talk about movies.
Oh, so you think yours is better than mine?
Yeah, because you just robbed that from me. Anyway, welcome back to the Movie Stash, everybody. This week, we watched The Flash, and we're going to talk about it. I'm pretty excited, not because I'm a DC fan, it's because I'm a fan of watching Agostino hate movies. And I knew he was going to hate this one.
Did you hear that Michael Keaton was actually hospitalized during the making of this?
Yeah, because he's like 1,000 years old.
No, he actually threw his back out from carrying the movie.
You know what's funny is that I knew that you were pretty excited about this movie, but not because it was a Flash movie. So why were you excited to watch The Flash?
I was excited for the possibilities that we could see from other universes, previous Batmans, previous villains. I thought, like, hey, if you got multiple Batmans, there should be multiple villains from other universes.
I thought if we watched this movie, we could see better movies inside of this movie. That's basically what you just said. That is the reasoning. And that's the reason why I wanted to go see it, too, because I was not excited for Ezra Miller at all. But I was just like, ooh, Michael Keaton's back? Ooh, I hope we get to see Christian Bale, or I hope we get to see Christopher Reeve Superman. I hope we get to see anybody else but Ezra Miller.
Yeah, or, it would have been cool to see some previous Jokers, like Jack Nicholson, previous Riddlers, even some Alfreds. I'd rather some Alfreds than Ezra Miller. Mm-hmm. We had one Alfred, which makes sense because it took place in this universe, but I would have liked to see Michael Caine.
I know you would have.
And maybe even other Alfreds from the Tim Burton movies or even from the Adam West.
Tim Burton, that dude's dead.
I know, but so is Reeves.
I think that would be so funny if, like, Michael Keaton just had that Alfred stuffed in his Batcave. Just like an animatronic Alfred.
Like Walt Disney, like he's just kept alive artificially.
Yes.
Like his head's frozen or something. And he still talks to it even though it's dead.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So, what was the main reason that you didn't want to see this movie?
Well, you didn't ask me if I didn't like it.
I didn't ask you.
But I didn't.
I think that was implied. All right. So we saw The Flash. I already know the answer, but the audience needs to know the answer. Did you like The Flash?
No. Absolutely not.
I know that because the entire time sitting next to you in the movie theaters, that's all you were doing was groaning about this movie.
If I could sum it up in one word, it would be awful. If I can sum it up in 3 words, it would be worst movie ever.
Can you sum it up in one word?
I did. I said awful.
A shorter word.
Bad.
Okay. I'll take that.
It was poopy.
It wasn't great. I liked it. I thought it was okay. And what made me hate it the most, I had to see this movie 2 times. The first time I had to see it with you, and it was an awful experience because I can't watch a movie I know you're going to hate next to you.
Yeah.
Because it was bad. I was trying to enjoy it, and you're just like...
Oh. Yeah,
and it was. I had to ask you to stop.
I couldn't hold it in. It was unbearably bad.
And so after that viewing, I gave it like a 6. I was at like a 7.5 most of the movie, and then the entire third act, I was kind of let down a little bit, so I brought it down to a 6.5, and then I had to see it again because I'm like, watching it with you was a bad experience for me, and you know what? I remained at a 6.5.
Yeah, so there you go. It wasn't me.
A little bit. I enjoyed being in the theater the second time.
So,
I did not enjoy it the first time.
I ruined your movie-going experience. I
Yes.
didn't ruin the movie. It was already bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's correct.
Man, I said in the beginning that I thought it was going to be a bad movie. Mm-hmm. I said it in the last episode. I said I think this is going to be a bad movie, but I think there'll be enough cool nostalgic stuff that's going to keep us happy. And you always tell me not to go in with such high expectations, and I did not. Even before we walked into the movie theater, I said I am ready to accept it's bad and it's good. And unfortunately, there was no good.
No, there was some good.
I disagree. I disagree. I think that it was. I think it was just even worse. It was worse than my imagination could have even thought it to be.
Mm-hmm.
That just like canceled out all the good stuff for me.
Well, so since you had no good stuff, I'll list some good stuff that I thought.
Okay.
I actually did enjoy Michael Keaton as Batman. I thought his fight sequences were cool. I thought that everything that he gave to the movie was 100% him. I don't feel like he phoned anything in. I do feel like it was great to see him again. And I think that was it. No, you know what? I did like some of the heartfelt moments between the Flash and his mom, even though I did not like the Flash at all. But I did like that moment towards the end of the movie where he was basically saying goodbye to her. I thought that was really good. I think that's it for the good. I wanted the good to be Sasha Calle. Is that her last name? She was the Supergirl.
Yeah.
I thought she was great for what she gave, but it was such a flat character because they didn't give her any real memorable scenes, any arcs, anything. She was just kind of like a flat character.
I'll agree with that.
But it wasn't her fault. It was the way that she was structured in the movie.
I agree with that. I didn't mind her at all. I actually thought she did a good job. But yeah, the character was flat. So yeah, I agree with everything you're saying about her. There are some moments I did like in the movie. I like that moment at the end with the mom, but at that point I was so turned off with the movie, so it really didn't have that much value. I thought there were some funny scenes, very little, but some funny scenes, which were when Wonder Woman has her truth lasso wrapped around Batman.
I hated that,
and he comes clean, and then Ezra Miller it touched the Flash too, and he comes clean too. I thought that was like a little. I laughed a little at that moment. But here's my problem though, is like, I don't want a funny movie. Like, I've always been a big DC person. I've always preferred them to Marvel. I don't like comedy and superheroes. Like, there's maybe a little just for entertainment. Like, it shouldn't be funny. Like, I want an epic movie when I go see a DC movie, and they were trying to make it like too light and silly from the beginning, and just trying to be Spider-Man, so badly. With this, Tom Holland's Spider-Man with the dumb jokes that he makes constantly. Just shut up and be a superhero. Like, stop talking, man. And another thing that I liked about it,
superheroes are for children. It's supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be funny.
But this
especially the Flash.
Look what they built though. Like with the Snyder movies, like it doesn't match those. Like, it's not. It's supposed to be that light.
I think now you're starting to get into an area where it's so gray it doesn't matter, because the Snyderverse is done and they're trying to move into a new direction. It's just a clusterfuck of stupid. It really is.
All right, so another thing that I liked, I agree with you on Michael Keaton. It was cool seeing him again. I thought that he did give 100%. I thought he picked up right where he left off as Batman, and it was really cool seeing him as Batman again. I just feel like they showed so much of the coolest parts of the movie, which are Michael Keaton, in the trailer, so his big reveal wasn't that special.
Okay, I think it would have been difficult for them to hide that, though. Because, you know what? They were depending on him to market the movie, because they 100%, couldn't do it with Ezra.
Yeah, they had
and that was going to be their biggest pull to get audiences out there, was Michael Keaton. And you know what? That is another reason why my score was so low, is because you brought back Michael Keaton and you didn't have a home run of a fucking movie. Like, I'm sorry. No, that's a waste. And if you look at the story as a whole, right? What the story is. and you explain if I explain the plot to you, that sounds like a good movie. I like seeing a time travel movie. I like seeing which was cool is seeing an origin of a superhero through a time travel story, which I don't think has ever really been done before. I thought that was pretty cool. I do like the multiverses. And you explain the plot of this movie. It sounds like it would be a good movie, but it was very stretched out. For as short of a movie as it is, it felt pretty long. It felt like there were slow parts.
It's not that short. It's 2.5.
Yeah, but still that short compared to other movies these days.
It definitely felt longer than 2.5.
Yeah, there was a lot that kind of dragged, but if it was just a movie that wasn't The Flash, like it would be enjoyable.
It didn't go by in a flash.
No, it didn't.
And you know what, dude? Like, there's so many scenes of him in slow motion because that's how he sees things because he's so fast. But we only need that establishing shot like once. I don't need you to do it every time he's moving fast. Like, think about like the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire where we saw how he saw things fast. And they just showed us one time slow motion. And we got it. We got it. Like, they did it every time that he moves fast. So I have to... Like, those scenes are so dragged out and long, like, and you're taking action and slowing it down. Every action scene, they had to slow it down for that, and it just moved too slow. I
did think that there are other movies that had speedsters that they pulled that off way better than what The Flash did. But I feel like if there is a character that they're gonna have those slow motion moments, it would be The Flash, but.
Too many.
Yeah, I mean that didn't bother. The CGI bothered me the most, even though I hate the excuse of we were meant to do that, because that's my excuse. Whenever I fuck up anything, I'm like, I meant to do that. That was on purpose. And that's what the director said for this, which I can understand to a degree. I mean, the way that everybody looked inside the Speed Force, you know, when he's in that orb and you can see it, it was so bad. It took me out. And when they saw the other DC heroes in when the worlds were colliding, and you got to see, you know, other, I don't know if we're doing spoilers or not, that really bugged me out because they brought in actual actors and to film those parts. And they still made them look awful. I don't get that.
By the way, say whatever you want. We're just not going to put any spoilers in the Instagram cut. But
when I saw, that's another thing. Bringing back Christopher Reeves, even if it's for like a couple of seconds, it looked like shit. He did not look very good. It looked like a video game, and I was very upset about that. Like, you bringing back all these cool things, and you couldn't even make it look cool.
Yeah, with the technology you have,
make it look cool.
Right. I mean, we have like more realistic dead people than that these days, and they didn't do it right. Well, let's keep going with some stuff I hate about this movie. All right? I know that I should like this, and I actually did like it, but they even had to ruin that. Is the reference of Back to the Future of Eric Stoltz's in that universe?
I actually like that.
I do like that too, and I thought that was funny, but they couldn't even do that right. So it was ruined and it was wasted.
How did they not do it right?
It's just the whole thing was poorly written. They're saying that they're like inspired by Back to the Future, but look at Back to the Future, how he went back in time and it was just better writing, just a good story. You're traveling in time and you're not. The writing's just terrible. It's awful. By the way,
wait. I don't understand how they didn't use that reference correctly, because there was a multiverse, and in that verse, their timeline, Eric Stoltz eventually
I understand. That's not what I'm saying. Wasn't correct.
What were you saying?
I'm saying the fact that the story is so poorly written that I don't even want Back to the Future mentioned.
It's not that they didn't use it correctly. You just didn't like it that it was used in the movie at all because it was a bad movie.
Yeah. Like, don't compare yourself to one of the greatest movies and time travel movies ever when your time travel plots are fucking dog shit.
I'm sorry, but if you're going to have a time travel movie, it's like automatic that they're going to have a Back to the Future reference in it.
And that's fine. That was a good reference to make. It was funny. That was one funny part. But
I would have liked if they used one of those deleted scenes from Eric Stoltz as the post-credit.
That should have been the post-credit
That should have been the post-credit scene.
Instead of what we got, which, you know, if you haven't seen the movie yet, you probably at least heard what the post-credit scene was. It's just, like, how are you gonna... This movie that's already bad, that already has a piece of shit garbage human being actor as the lead, and people already hate him. You put two of them in a movie, and then the one saving grace is maybe a cool post-credit scene, but you just bring like the second worst Justice League character, which is Aquaman, because Jason Momoa is a fucking douche also. I'm like, why is this even in the movie? Like, why are you promoting...
more multiverse?
No, why are you promoting drunkenness? Why are you promoting a guy who's just drunk flat on his face? You're talking about this is for kids movie? Why are we promoting a superhero is flat on his face drunk, and it's not even funny?
No.
Jason Momoa can't act, and there's no punchlines in that. Why was it even there?
I think this is your supervillain origin story right now. This is how you became. You're getting heated, dude.
Yeah, man. Like,
and I get you because like it's like we know that the Snyderverse is ending, right? This is supposed to be the last Snyderverse movie, but no, we still have Aquaman 2.
Yeah,
and I keep hearing that movie's bad too.
This movie has 3 douches in it, and 2 of them are Ezra Miller. Like, you might as well have put Ezra Miller and Jared Leto. That would be the only way to make it worse, but they found a way to just make 2 Ezra Millers.
I just want to know, like, if they're going to continue this trend of bad movies, they should at least try to make the worst movie ever made. Like, I would have actual respect for that.
Well, they accidentally just did it.
No, they did. They tried to make something good. And I think that, I mean, other than the CGI, they should really attempt to, like, hey, let's really just put all of our rotten eggs in one basket and just make it the worst movie ever.
Listen, Ezra Miller as the Flash from Justice League is so annoying. And the only way to possibly make him less annoying is to put another him in it who's even more annoying than that one to make him seem less annoying.
Okay.
And, you know, it just ruined the cool moments for me. Like, you know, it should have been a very exciting moment of the original Keaton Batmobile reveal. And they
didn't even use it.
It was not, but even the reveal, it wasn't an exciting moment. Like, if I wanted to see some annoying teenager jumping around the original Batmobile, I'd go down to the WB lot, watch the tour, and watch a bunch of teenagers take videos. They're gonna put that in a movie. Like, it's just ruined. It's ruined by Ezra Miller. It's ruined by the writing and the plot of the story. Man, I want to do a writer's strike, but I want them to make less money. Like, next time the writers are striking, I'm gonna strike across the street from them and be like, you should get paid less.
Well, you know what they're gonna do now? They're gonna have AI start writing all the movies.
I mean, you might as well.
No, thank you.
I mean, it could.
You know what would be hilarious is to have AI write a Terminator movie.
Yeah, that would be funny.
That would be like so ironic.
I think when you said that, we just skipped, when you just said that, we skipped the line for a second.
Yeah.
Time froze and like my brain like twitched for a second.
And how ironic would it be if AI wrote another Terminator movie and it was better than Terminator 2?
I mean, the writers today might as well be AI. You're just taking stuff that was successful in the past and stories and characters that were successful in the past and just vomiting on a page. It's so bad. Dude, this scene where they're like breaking in to steal Superman back.
Yeah.
It's like so long and dull and boring, and like the thing with their tooth falling out and then the other guy's tooth falling. Like, stupid. Why is this in it? Why are we wasting time on this bullshit? Get to the fucking good part.
I agree with the tooth. I don't understand why they were doing the tooth.
It wasn't funny. Why is this in it?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to be funny, and it's not like.
I'll say what like one of my biggest letdowns was that I remember hearing that they kept on withholding the original ending of this movie from all the screenings because they didn't want any spoilers to leak out. And so I was like, ooh man, they're gonna go all out for this secret ending, that ending the Snyderverse. I wonder what they're gonna do. I was just thinking of something like, I tried not to put any expectations on myself. I was just excited to see what they did, and the surprise ending just happened to be the worst Batman ever, George Clooney.
Literally the worst Batman ever.
Can't. And you know what the 3 endings were? They had 3 alternate endings. Okay, the one that we got, which was the George Clooney one, and then there was another ending where it was Michael Keaton and that Supergirl. They show up at the courthouse.
Okay.
And then the other ending was Henry Cavill's Superman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman being at the courthouse instead. Those are the 3 endings that they were.
Any of those would have been better than Clooney.
Yeah, I was actually angry when I saw that.
I was too, because you gave us this awful dog shit movie, and like the big end was Clooney, who was like nobody's favorite. I'm like, I was booing the screen when Clooney came out. Clooney is the worst.
So wait, what does this mean? So is he now is Ben Affleck dead? Like Ben Affleck's not. No, he's supposed to be an Aquaman too. I'm like, they just won't let him die.
Yeah,
they won't let Ben Affleck die.
Why is Clooney even in it if Clooney is technically Michael Keaton's character? Like, why is he in it?
Well, I would argue that those are now alternate universes. So that's what it is.
I mean, technically it's not.
I mean, Keaton even explained... No, but it is. Because you remember that there are things that are similar and there are things that are not. So, when Val Kilmer became Batman, Michael Keaton was still Batman, but in another universe. They were just, alternate
Even
ones.
that was lazy writing. Just, I'm going to explain it a bowl of spaghetti.
Actually, that made a lot of sense to me.
Okay, but, that's just lazy writing.
If you want to explain science to me, use food. That is how you explain science to me. Just use food, and I'll get it.
Just lazy writing, bro. I think that from the second the movie opened up, I hated it. I did not like Ben Affleck's Batman when he first appeared on screen. It was way too silly and outside of his character from the last times that he's played Batman.
I don't know, silly. I just didn't like the fact that he smiles. I hated that. Even though it was the lasso of truth, that I instantly thought of Joss Whedon's Justice League as soon as I saw him smile. And you know what else I noticed the second time viewing it? Is that when Ben Affleck was on the bike, you could see that they put Ben Affleck's face digitally on top of
I noticed that the
actor.
first time I saw it.
I was drunk the first time I saw it, so...
It looked terrible.
Yeah, and I started noticing that with Ezra Miller, too. Throughout the movie, I started noticing, I'm like, why does his face look fucked up? I'm like, wait a second, they probably used another actor and just put his face on there.
Just work with him as least amount as possible, have him on set as least amount as possible.
No, I know he felt both sides.
Yeah, I didn't like Ben Affleck, who was my favorite Batman. I didn't like his character didn't match his previous roles as Batman. It was way too silly the second they showed him on the screen, the second he spoke. Complete waste of great comebacks. Affleck, Michael Shannon were completely phoning it in. You can tell they really don't care about this project, and a complete waste of bringing back Keaton on a horrible movie.
I agree with you on that. I don't feel that Keaton phoned it in. I just felt like he wasn't giving it enough.
Keaton didn't phone it in. They just wasted his comeback on a bad movie.
Yeah. They wasted Michael Keaton's comeback as Batman, for sure.
They wasted missed opportunities for some great fan service and more nostalgic moments where if it had some of that, it might have made me a little bit more happier that the movie was so bad. But they didn't. The only, besides Keaton, nostalgic thing that came back was George Clooney. It was terrible. Terrible. Whose idea was that? He's the only one that was still willing to be a part of a shit project.
Would you say that was the dumbest part of the movie?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would say that.
I don't know. Can you spit out any more toxic diarrhea about your experience watching this movie?
Let me see if I covered everything that I hated about it. I think I got a lot of the hate out. But yeah, that's... I don't know. I feel like there was one more, but I lost my train of thought.
So
it might come to me.
What do you rate this on the Agometer?
So... The Agometer's in the upside down right now, bro.
Well, that's the whole purpose of the Agometer. I think we should re-explain what the Agometer is. Me and our friends, we always find that Agostino has the opposite view of a movie on us. So we created the Agometer, which was an opposite of how we felt. So if we felt like a movie was a 9, oh, dude, that's a 2 on the Agometer.
Yeah.
So
that was the creation of the Agometer.
Yeah.
So that is still how I rate my movies, on Agometer, and you can still base, however you feel off that. But on this movie, The Flash, the Agometer is in the upside down, dude.
So that means it's good?
So you're not going to believe it, but I'm giving this movie a 10, but in the upside down. So this movie is -10 for me.
Okay, just say -10.
Yeah.
Just say it's a -10.
It is a -10.
Okay, I'm glad I'm glad and I'm upset. I'm happy that I got to experience the worst movie you've ever seen with you. And I'm also upset because that ruined some of my movie going experience, even though it didn't change my thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
Yeah. I think I'm around a 6. I'm gonna say I'm a 6. I can watch it again. I would put it in my movie stash, just to have it, just to have a Michael Keaton trilogy. Is it in your movie stash?
No, absolutely not.
Would you ever watch it
No.
again? What if I forced you to watch it?
I mean, that would be the only way.
Would you
What do you
watch
mean
the
force?
sequel? Like, I don't know, Tie You Down, Clockwork Orange style.
There's going to be a sequel to The Flash?
Well, I don't know if it doesn't make enough money, but there was they were ready for this to be a huge summer hit.
Yeah.
And I'm glad when shit blows up in studios' faces. But yeah, I don't think it's going to make enough money to. I think that's the only thing keeping it greenlit. But there was a script for it, and I know that they would bring back Michael Keaton and Supergirl to be in The Flash too. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's not going to make enough money.
My favorite part of the movie was Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Just seeing him was kind of cool.
Have you ever seen that documentary about the Superman?
I've never seen the documentary.
Dude, I own it somewhere. I can't find it, but we'll watch it.
I do know all about it, and it was just kind of cool to see him.
It was, and that was another thing that made me mad, is because they brought him in to film, and then they digitized him and made him and downgrade. I was so mad at that. I'm like, at least give him a line of dialogue, something cool to do, you know?
Yeah, Nick Cage is awesome. He's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that was probably the only time I cheered during the whole movie, just to see him for a second. It was cool. I thought he looked badass in his Superman suit, and that is my favorite part of the movie.
Okay, well, good for you.
So, yeah, you guys who are listening to the podcast or watching the full episode of the podcast, you might hear some spoilers. So, this is for people who have seen the movie already. But if you want the completely edited under 5-minute quick review, it is always on Instagram, and that is at _movie stash. And yeah, no trivia today.
No trivia today, but why don't you go ahead and tell them why there's no trivia today? Because what was the previous episode?
So last episode we did a movie draft. Every now and then on here we'll do a draft of movies. That's where Kevin and I will take turns, each drafting a movie on a certain subject until we each have 5, and then you vote for who you think has the best stash of that 5. So last time we did Batman movies, and I drafted The Dark Knight, Batman vs. Superman, Dark Knight Rises, Batman Forever, and Snyder Cut's Justice League. And you drafted
The Batman 1989. What else did I do? I did The Flash. I did Batman Begins, and I did Batman Returns.
So you all voted at home. We have the results. So we put up polls on my Instagram, which is at Agostino Zoida. We put up polls on Kevin's Instagram, which is
at Twin Pines Video.
And what are the results on your poll?
On my poll?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be close, So let me check this out. My poll result was 61% me and 39% you. So I won me on my personal Instagram page.
Well, there's no need for a tiebreaker. On my Instagram page, you guys polled 80-20%, and it was Kevin.
Yeah!
I don't know how you hacked in and
Batman
changed.
Forever, because you chose Batman
That's
Forever.
not why.
That is why.
Maybe The Dark Knight Rises which I think a lot of people don't like, but I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Batman Forever is like...
I think it was a combination of both of those two.
Dude, you chose The Batman, which is a good movie, but it's like, I don't know, it was your first pick. And
so?
You have...
It was a good pick.
Batman Returns, which is okay. You have The Flash, which is terrible. I don't know, dude. Were you guys doing mail-in ballots? Like, how did you cheat this?
We didn't cheat it. They just, not everybody's going to agree with you. So that means I get to choose the movie.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm going to do, because I'm so kind.
You say The Flash, I'm going to kill you.
I'm not going to, no. I'm going to give you options. I'm going to give you 2 options. But they have to be screened in my backyard for a backyard
with
movie
witnesses
night.
that I watched it?
Yeah. All right. So, the first choice is you can either watch an 80s movie, summertime movie.
Are you going to tell me the titles?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the title. One Crazy Summer, John Cusack movie.
Okay.
Or a horror comedy, Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods is more recent, obviously. I feel like you would probably like that one more, but there's a lot of gore.
That's different than 28 Days Later.
What do you mean?
Right? What's 28 Days Later again?
28 Days Later is a zombie movie.
It's a zombie movie.
Well, it's not real zombies. They're infected with rage. But the Cabin in the Woods or One Crazy Summer?
What's One Crazy Summer about?
It's like Better Off Dead, but it's the same director, John Cusack. He goes to Martha's Vineyard with his friends, and they end up doing a boat race. Kind of like Summer Rental. They end up having... I'm not going to explain anything else.
I'm going to go with One Crazy Summer.
Oh, One Crazy Summer. Okay, I will save Cabin in the Woods for another time.
All right.
So you're going to watch One Crazy Summer, one of my favorite summertime movies growing up. And I love making you watch 80s movies that you missed that were nostalgic to me, because I know they don't hold up and you're going to hate them.
Let me tell you something. I ain't watching shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you still owe me movies.
Yeah, I know.
80 for Brady.
Yeah.
And The Godfather.
We can do The Godfather and One Crazy Summer back to back in the backyard.
All right.
Deal?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know about on the same night.
Maybe. Fine. You don't require me to watch The Godfather with you? Because you hype that up. Like, let's do it in the backyard and watch. And smoke
Yeah,
cigars.
I'll do that. I'm just going to do it the same night.
Okay.
Because it's a long movie.
All right.
All right, bro. That's it.
That's it. We're done. Fuck you, Ezra. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you twice.
Fuck you
because
twice.
you did to us. This is the movie stash.
This is the movie stash. What was that? No gang signs.